yeah.
Candid with
I'm really excited for you to check out this interview.
Candid with Kimbra.
Hey everyone, today I'm really excited because I have a dear friend of mine on. His name is Peter Leinheiser. And I've been trying to get him on for a while now, but he's such a busy guy. It's been taking a little bit of coordination. But he is an executive up at Gibsonguitars. So today I learned a lot about what he does at Gibson because I never really knew. And he's around a lot of very interesting and successful and cool musicians. He is one himself, and I learned a lot about his past, his writing, his music. We talked about songwriting, we talked about people that he's met and some things he's learned along the way. And I hope you enjoy this podcast with Peter Leinheiser. I'm very excited because today I have Peter Leinheiser as my guest, and I've been trying to get him to come on for a while now. And he's such a busy guy that it's been taking a big juggling act. He was like, can you just call me that day? And I was like, no, I got a plan. Right?
And so should I introduce you too?
No, you don't need to.
Okay.
But thank you though. And I'm assuming he's in his beautiful home, which I've seen the front of, and I don't know if I've been in the kitchen, but this is his home.
Yeah.
And we have
home.
Huh?
I'm home. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we affectionately, the people that know Peter, call him the mayor of Studio City because he's always around.
Yeah.
You kind of
imagine what the ones who are not affectionate, what they call them. Yeah.
I'd hate to hear what they call you. Right? Karen is going to be so happy that you're on my podcast because she goes, if you get Peter on, you got to send that to me.
Oh, yeah.
Karen Ryan.
No, I didn't meet you through her.
No.
I met you third party, and then after she knew that we met, she just warned me to keep my hands off you.
Is that what she said?
Yeah. She says, you leave her alone,
She was being protective of me?
Yeah. So I'm forever scared.
Well, Karen is very sweet. She's kind of a little yenta. You know how that yenta? She's a bit of a yenta because she's always trying to fix people up, or she kind of watches over people, right? So anyway, so let's see. It all started back when we met at this rock and roll shindig. I remember when Gibson had a big party over there on Sunset. Remember you guys used to have that building, or you had it for a little while.
Oh, Tower?
Mm-hmm.
Tower Records. Oh yeah, that was we took that over maybe 2014 or 2015. And we're going to turn it into a retail store for our consumer electronics, because we acquired several brands like Onkyo and Tascam and many other brands. And it was an incredible space. And I had the keys I still have the keys to it, by the way.
You do? Oh my gosh. That place is I was so sad, first of all, when it wasn't Tower anymore. But then at least Gibson took over for a while.
Yeah. And we basically didn't do anything with it except had events there. And probably one of the best was the Elton John did a free concert there for the city of West Hollywood. Where
I know, I missed it.
The city called up and says, would you like to do something and let an artist do a concert for the city of West Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really tight with the city of West Hollywood at the time. And I said, well, who's the artist? And they said, well, we really can't tell you. And then I said, well, you really can't use the place.
Yeah, I need to know.
Yeah. And so then we did it, and it was pretty amazing. They shut the street down. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of people we had there. And it was like one of those days you go, it's a good day to die, because you've
seen and done it all that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't Lady Gaga there? I thought you'd.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, her.
And this is the brilliance of a professional like Elton John. He says, and a special guest. And so I'm in Tower. The whole outside of it set up with the
Mhm.
stage and the sound system. It took a week to set up the whole thing. And then the inside they turned into a giant, I mean, it's 10,000 square feet, a giant dressing room for Elton and pipe and drape for somebody else, special guest. And I'm in there, show day, and then Lady Gaga walks in with a garment bag over her shoulder, and I said, "Oh, you're the special guest. Great."
That's awesome.
I've worked with her on numerous things, and what he did was, I forget the name of the song, second to the end song.
Was it your song? Because I know she does your song
It
too.
was a big big anthem ballad, and she gets up and the crowd goes crazy, and she sang like one verse and a chorus, and then she got off the stage. He did one more song and split, and just to leave the crowd in that state of
Sure.
frenzy is one of the best things a performer can do. Just
Like wanting more.
wanting more, just wanting so much more.
That's awesome. Wow. And so, God, I know. I remember you told me about it afterwards. I was like, darn, why wasn't I there? But that sounds amazing. But I do remember an event I went there. It was for, gosh, that movie with Colin Hanks. I believe he was in it. And you
He
guys,
did a movie about Tower Records,
that's right. Yeah.
and Colin, who is a spitting image of his dad, the same stature, the same
Right.
walk. And he came in and they repainted the entire exterior to
Hmm.
look like Tower Records.
Hmm.
And he spent, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks prepping the place. And our CEO, Henry, just wanted people to use the space. And so no charge to Colin, and he was very grateful. And um, it was a great event. It was
Yeah,
an
that was
incredible
fun.
event.
That was so much fun. So I just want to go back a little bit too, though, because I don't know a whole bunch about you, but I do know you're from Arizona, right? And when did you come out? Were you young when you came out, like 20s, in your 20s? 10 years ago?
3 years ago, when I was 23,
Yeah.
um,
You thought, I'm going to make
I
it
think
big.
I'm trying to remember when I came out here. Um,
Well,
70,
seven.
I was 23 or 24. I never did the math, but
Wow.
I look at years and I go, yeah, I was here for that. And I was very, very fortunate. I came out here once with my buddy, Bill Dubell, and we just kind of checked it out. I lived in Denver for a while
Hmm.
because I explored the music scene there because they had a lot of bars that would serve 3-2 beer to 18-year-olds. So they had a very large number of places to play. Phoenix didn't have anything like that.
Wow.
And so Bill and I came out here once and we stayed in Westwood at a friend of ours, actually my ex-date, his ex-girlfriend, and and stayed at her place and slept on opposing couches and was waking up from an aftershock
Of an
from
earthquake?
from this Silmar earthquake or something.
Oh,
We got in the car so fast.
did you
We
guys drive
got back.
home?
We got back to Phoenix so quick. It was ridiculous. Like what? How do you what? Mm.
I've heard that story before. Not a friend of mine. It was, I think, the other earthquake in, gosh, what was that big one? Northridge, the Northridge earthquake. And she said that the day after, she drove to Las Vegas and she never came back.
Yeah, that was a bad one. That was a most earthquakes are slip faults where one
Right.
goes fast. Northridge was a
Yeah.
thrust fault where it went up.
Yeah, the plates, and it happened like all over the valley, but also, well, mainly Van Nuys and Northridge area, but I think it happened in Santa Monica too. I think it went because I had a friend tell me that she was living in Santa Monica and she felt it there too.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
You were here for that?
Um, I think I was. I
You
think,
would remember.
yeah. That part of my life was a little foggy, but I do remember that.
Well, you're still 12,
I
right?
know. No, no, no. I was going through, some interesting times. Let's just put it that way. But that was, by all accounts, a bad earthquake. And I know a lot of the valley really got shooken up. Like I had a friend, she told me that she had a condo and it flattened her like it went over the garage and flattened it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. They're repairing all of those. They're retrofitting all those garages underneath apartments.
Yeah.
Condos now.
But anyway, so you went back to Phoenix, but then how long after did you come back to LA?
Uh, I don't know.
Years.
Wasn't too long. It was
Oh, okay.
probably months.
Oh, okay.
And I moved out. And the only person I knew, um, I remember One of a Kind Love Affair. That was a song on the radio when I moved here by the Spinners.
I love the fact that
Um,
you remember stuff through music. That's so cool.
oh yeah, and also Diodato, the 2001 Space
Oh, Space
Oddity.
Odyssey, yeah.
And I met a guy in Colorado when I was in the band with this guy Michael Sachs. We had a band called Baby West, and
That title, Baby West.
yeah, that's my title. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I figured.
After I looked at it was a Baby Bend by West Clock. You
Titles,
know,
I mean, that's the hardest part, coming up with names and titles for bands, I think.
and the guy that was interested in it um, was Kim Fowley,
Oh, yeah.
who was
Like a
a
promoter, right?
musical producer, entrepreneur, wild man, and he's the only guy I knew when I came out here.
You knew him beforehand?
Well, he flew out to Denver and he took our demo and promoted it to Epic Records
Oh,
and or promoted it to a lot of labels. And we actually got a record deal, but the band had broken up and nobody wanted to get back together. And but he knew me and he liked my guitar playing and he just says, "Well, come over."
yeah.
And
For people that don't know who Kim Fowley is, because I have a friend that had a record deal with him too. She was like a female kind of, she's white and it was like a novelty at the time, but her and two other girls were doing like kind of a rap thing. And she had a deal with Kim Fowley at one point. I don't know the specific details, but I know he was a promoter and he also did the Runaways, right? Didn't he?
yeah, he had us. We were playing on the demos for them,
Really?
and we did a record for Kim at Capitol Studio A that I co-wrote and co-produced within the first 2 months of being in LA. And through that association, I met Chris Darrow, met a lot of different people. Um, One of them that introduced me to Rick Springfield, and that's how I got hooked up with Rick Springfield. And through, and I did a lot of other projects with Kim. Kim has a kind of a sordid history, and
Yeah,
I,
it's a little controversial, I guess.
yeah, he was tough on women.
Mm.
I had no problem with him. I'm not a woman. And but he introduced me to Mars Bonfire,
Mhm.
who we were writing songs together. And Mars was a karate instructor.
Mm.
And like I'm going, I don't know how to write. And he says, "Yeah, well, all you got to do is get one. And he says, "Well, I don't know how to write, Mars." He says, "Well, just do this. How's this?" I know. I just need one. "Oh, Mars, what was your one song? He says, well, I wrote Born to Be Wild for Steppenwolf.
He did?
Yeah. And like I'm
Wow.
going, well, that's one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But his
Okay.
real name, I don't know what his real name is, but he's a great guy, really, really sweet. He's lived in Beechwood Canyon, and we wrote through Blue Cheer, uh, lots of different projects. I remember working with guys from Steppenwolf. Um, now I'm talking about the floodgates.
Oh. Yeah,
And
that song is like sort of an anthem for the 60s, the
it
freedom.
also it has the line "Heavy Metal Thunder."
Mm,
So he's the guy that wrote the term heavy metal.
mm. I didn't know that.
You can
So,
write it down. I'll remember that for you.
okay. Well, I'm recording, remember? So, um,
Oh
so
no.
yes, I'm recording. Let's see what else was again. Oh, yeah, Rick Springfield. So Rick obviously uses Gibson guitars, right?
Oh,
Or just amongst his collection.
nothing obvious. No, I know that he played a Firebird,
Mm,
and he played an Ovation.
hmm
And Rick and I did a duo for a minute, traveling up and down the West Coast, playing in shopping malls.
Really?
Yeah, inside shopping malls.
See,
And
folks, even the big ones start off, in small places.
and then we played shopping. We got a band together. We lived all together in Point Doom at a house on Blue Water.
Hmm.
And our next door neighbor was Bob Dylan. I mean, it was crazy times, you know.
But those are the days, though, to be here in LA, right? And
Well, these are the days to be in LA too. I mean, it's all great. If you
oh,
allow it to be great, it's all great.
that's true. I mean, 20 years from now, we're gonna look back and go, "Oh, it's all great to be in
Yeah.
Studio City."
Yeah.
It's
I remember
2025.
2025. Wow, those were the days.
Those were
Oh,
the days, my friend.
during the time with Rick, we were in the middle of the gasoline crisis where you're only allowed to buy gas on depending on your license plate every other day, depending on how your license plate ended.
Wow, that's well, gas rationing, huh?
Yeah, gas ration.
Yeah,
And living in Point Doom was far away.
I know. Right? I've driven there, but it's not like I go there all the time. It's like it's even passed out. I think didn't the Rolling Stones have a song that said, "I'll buy you a house out in no Zuma Beach." That's what the line was, Zuma Beach
Zoom is a quarter mile away from
from Point.
Point Doom.
Yeah. Um. Okay, so. Are you still in touch with Rick? Do you guys talk?
Yeah, yeah, we laughed a lot.
Uh,
We did a record in 1974, and we did it at Stevie Wonder's studio called Crystal Sound at Santa Monica and Vine. And I think Robbie Porter produced it. Steve Bender was the manager. Steve Bender, who also did the comeback special for Elvis.
oh, really?
He did the Tammy show. If you've never seen the Tammy, Tami,
Mhm.
you have to watch it. It's an amazing, it's live television at its best.
Tammy show
And
is it who's the star?
Jan and Dean are the hosts.
Okay.
Jerry and the Pacemaker opens with Chuck Berry, and then setting off to the side next to Chuck Berry, he's playing and he's looking, and these other guys are setting up right next to him. He's like going, what the fuck is playing here? And then, I think the Rolling Stones,
Wow.
James Brown is the peak of it. Was James Brown is so amazing, and the Rolling Stones followed James Brown. I think there's a quote that Mick Jagger may have said or may not have said it. He regrets following James Brown. But just to see Keith Richards with a dual showman and
That's
just,
so fun. I know that's so hard when you like when I followed, I don't get into intimidated much, to be honest with you. But when you follow like a really great singer, I'm like, yeah, I gotta follow that. You know,
Yeah.
you want to be an opening for that. No. Um, okay, so I wanted to tell you something funny about Rick Springfield, though. Gosh, it's probably about 3 years ago now. I went with a bunch of girls to go see Rick Springfield, and I think we went to the YouTube amphitheater out. It's kind of a new.
Yeah, it's up next to SoFi.
Yeah, I was with about 10 ladies, and Jesse's Girl. I think it's when he takes off his shirt, right? And then he plays the rest of the. At least I think he plays till the end without his shirt on, and we're like, what?
I know I look at him and I go, well done, Rick.
Android.
I mean, he's older than me. He looks great, you know.
He looks amazing, and yeah, well, good for him. I mean, something to aspire to, right?
Yeah, I did a push-up today.
Yeah, you're just a kid compared to him.
Oh, and the record that we did in 1974
Yeah.
was never released.
Oh,
It came out last year.
seriously?
Seriously, it came out. I think it's called Rick Springfield 1974.
Oh my gosh, I have to look it up.
And we had real good chats on the phone about, because they were doing a lot of promotion for it, and then we're figuring, oh boy, we're going to get interviewed. What are we going to talk about? What are we not going to talk about?
Right. Wow.
So,
That is amazing. Okay, so you're in these bands. So how long were you doing bands and music until, I mean, were you still doing that when you got in with Gibson, or did that happen like a long time later?
oh, well, I did bands I was on the road, I mean, with a lot of different bands. And then I guess um, I put together a band we had a garage band with a bunch of guys from Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And oh yeah, this is a good story. Um, bam. And we're writing original songs.
Right.
It was a good band. It was with guy Russ Battellini, Steve George, Richard Page, Jerry Manfredi. But actually, the members kind of morphed. I mean, I replaced Mark Aguirre, and I was eventually replaced. Um, but so we're like rehearsing, and they also had a club band called Andy Hardy. And
That's a good
but
name.
I remember driving back from Downey at a gig one night, when you're coming up the 5 at 2 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
going back to West Hollywood, and this song came on the radio. And I just went, whoa, that's a hit. That's a friggin' hit.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time I went from Downey to West Hollywood, the song came on the same station again. And I said, that's a hit with some power behind it. Not knowing anything about the business, somebody's got some money here. So I get home, I called the radio station.
In the days when you could call the radio station.
Yeah, and the disc jockey picked up the phone. He says, that was Andy Gibb. I just want to be your everything.
Oh.
And okay, here we go. So the disc jockey said it was Andy Gibb. I just want to be your everything. And I said, Andy Gibb, because there was a guy named Andy Kim that had a record out at the time. He says, no, this is a brother. He knew this is the brother of the Bee Gees, and he's on RSO Records. And I went, RSO, what's that? He says, Robert Stigman Organization. They're on Sunset Boulevard. I mean, he just like handed me this huge Easter egg and says, here it is. So next morning, I called up, I looked in the phone book, because that's what you did. Okay, so who is this artist, Andy Gibb? And do you have a band for this kid? And they go, as a matter of fact, no, we don't, but we're looking for a band. And so turned it over to George, our band's manager, and we got some albums from them. We learned the record, and the band was a really good band. I mean, and excellent singers, Steve and Rich, and we were the first band they auditioned, and they canceled all the auditions. So we were Andy Gibbs' band, and we helped go on the road to promote the "I Just Want to Be Your Everything," which was the
Single.
number one record, and then it dropped down to number three, and we went on the road. It went back to number one. And apparently, that has never happened at Billboard, and it's just kind of a cool thing to be around
What a
for that.
story, though. What a story that you actually just called, you heard the song, you called the radio station. I mean, now you would never be able to get through to any of those people, most likely, if you didn't know somebody.
No, there's other ways.
Yeah, I'm sure you know all the tricks.
Back then, we didn't have Google.
Yeah, I know. Stop Googling me.
Let your fingers do the walking through the yellow pages. That was Google.
Right. So after Andy Gibb, then you went in on to do other you were backing other artists after that?
Well, I had been doing a lot of other bands. I did a band with, remember the actress Amy Madigan,
Yes.
a band called Jelly, and we opened for Bread. So it was a Bread and Jelly tour. And I was more interested in Bread because it was Michael Botts and Larry Knechtel and David Gates and Dean Parks. And I
Yeah.
got to know Dean, and his wife was the road manager, so they became good friends. And did the Hudson Brothers for a couple of years, which we did a lot of TV and film dates as well. There's a new player
Oh yeah, yeah.
with Peter Beckett and
Mhm.
John Friesen, and the bass player Ronnie Moss, who is also a soap star.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he still a soap star now?
I don't. I probably. I mean, he's another beautiful guy like Rick Springfield. Just like, yeah, okay,
Never seems to age, right?
no. And there's a lot of bands, a lot of sessions. I got tired of the road though, and I started doing sessions, and I love sessions. I
Ugh,
just love,
I know what you mean. So the few times I do session work, I love them too because A, the money's good, and B, it's just you usually don't have to go very far, and you're in and out.
sometimes you got to get up early.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, I've done.
If you're in Studio City, you got to be at the Village at 10. That's like you got to get up at 7.
I know. I hate having to get up really early because I'm always afraid I'm going to oversleep. So so that I have a hard time falling asleep. Right?
You know it well.
And Peter's like, I don't go to sleep. I just stay up the whole night.
Sleep is. I'm a whole different person if I don't sleep.
Oh, I know. You and me both. Um, so, so how did Gibson come about? I mean, I know when I first met you, you guys had that big building in Beverly Hills. Is that where you were working mostly?
Um, well, I remember I was living off of. I became a staff songwriter too.
Oh, you did?
So I was a songwriter at Screen Gems, Cold Gems,
Hmm.
a little while at Elmo Irving,
Mm-hmm.
and did a lot of writing on my own, and we got residuals, and then that thing Napster came along,
Mm-hmm.
and I was married at the time, and then I got divorced, and I wanted to stay in the house.
That house that you're in now, right now? The one and only.
Yeah, this one.
And folks, by the way, has a really beautiful backyard that sometimes people get married in.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
And I don't know, do you do the work yourself? Like all the landscaping and stuff? Do you do all
I
that?
do. You said manscaping?
No, not manscaping. But do you do that too? No. So landscaping, you
No,
have,
I micromanaged every
yeah, that's true.
nail and brick. I mean, my dad and I and brother helped build a house, so I
Mhm.
know how to do it. Just I don't have, I'm not practiced in the skills, and
Right.
I trust a guy named Brett built the Love Shack, and a guy named Lupe did all the bricks and hardscape, and I do all the landscaping. I can plant, you know.
Yeah, Peter is not afraid to get his hands dirty because I will tell you,
No,
one
I
time
pref- I prefer.
you were for somebody. No, but you're not, because I remember one time I parked on a street, which I won't say where it is, but it's a very popular street. But anyway, I parked my car and I saw him looking for spiders or something, and I said, okay, this guy likes, I remember that. That's what I,
Looking for what?
spider, you were looking for spiders,
Oh yeah,
right?
spiders are cool.
And I thought, this guy's not afraid of spiders. Okay. But, and your front yard kind of has that what do they call that? Drought resistant or something? Drought. You have that sort of drought California thing going on, right?
That means you just don't water it, you know.
Right.
I think they call it zero scape.
Zero scape. Okay.
Yeah.
I have never heard that one. So, anyway, you wanted to stay in this lovely house, so you decided to do some other kinds of employment or jobs.
I didn't decide that. It's like, you do all your spiritual work, and they say that if you put this crystal in this corner and you do this incantation,
Hmm.
and the one thing they never say is get a job.
Right?
Yeah. So
I,
uh
I know.
neighbor, my buddy across the street owned a golf club manufacturing company, and he asked me to come look at the place, and I said, sure, love to look at it. And I looked at it and I saw the procedure and I saw the workers. And he said, so what do you think? And I go, what do you mean, what do I think? What do you think of the place? I said, well, that guy's going to steal from you. And this thing, that guy listens to that guy. And I figured out all the dynamics in there. And it says, and the workflow is completely wrong.
Really?
And you need to move this over here and that over there. And he says, well, when do you want to start? So I started, and I needed the money, and I got exactly the amount of money I got was exactly the amount of money I needed. But it was a lot of hard work. I had to be there at 7 in the morning.
But you know what? I was just going to add what you were just telling me a minute ago. Some people might call that feng shui.
Oh yeah, I got all the feng shui books.
Because you were like, this needs to go there, this person.
Oh yeah, but it's also very practical.
Yeah,
It's like
I
you
agree.
don't want to, if you're walking this way, you don't want a couch in the way.
Right, because you want everything to flow, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
No,
So,
I studied all that stuff. Um, um, and then I said, this is a lot of work. I would like to get twice as much and work half as much.
I want to get paid more and work less, the
Yeah,
American way.
yeah. And then my buddy Dennis came up to me, and he was offered a job at Gibson, and it wasn't right for him. And he says, you need Pete. Pete's the one for you. And the manager there, Nina, said, send me your resume. And I said, I mean, I have a rock and roll resume.
Right.
And she said, well, write a letter we'll give it to the CEO, who's Henry. And I said, write a letter. I mean, so I said, I mean, my letter, I still have the letter. It says, I'm tall, smart, and funny, and people pay attention to me when I walk in the room. And
That
talked
got
about
you a meeting? That got you a meeting with the guy?
it got me a job. I still
Really?
have the job for 23 years.
That's amazing.
I mean, there's more to it.
Right.
My dad was a scientist, my mom was a nurse, and blah blah blah.
So you
It's
got
just an honest letter.
right. Yeah, I think I could say that about you as much as I know you, that you're very, what's the word? You don't sugarcoat things, but at the same time, I don't think you say something unless you can deliver, right?
Um, Say something I can deliver. What?
Say something that you cannot deliver. Like you won't say something that you can't do,
No, I won't.
right?
I won't even answer that question unless I know what the question is.
That's true. You looked at me like, huh? What are you saying?
Yeah.
You didn't just go, uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah. So what did you think when you first started working at Gibson? I mean, it must have been a lot better than the golf.
Well, I remember it was on Halloween when I got the call on the answering machine,
Yeah.
and I called back, and she says, "Well, you have to confirm by saying the word yes." I said yes, and then she said, "Can you start tomorrow?" And I went, "No."
Really?
No, I think I cried for 2 weeks. I was just so devastated that grateful and devastated. Those juxtaposed things. It's like I felt I was surrendering and I cheated on my life as a musician, and
Oh, I
at
see.
the same time, I'm taking care of myself. It's that word responsibility that I know too well,
You felt,
and
yeah.
I love it and love it and love it and hate it at the same time.
Like, yeah, we were talking once because I remember I said to you, God, so many musicians or people would love to have your job. And he said, yeah, but you said at the end of the day, it's just a job. I mean, it's still a job, right? So with a job comes, responsibilities. And you always feel like, I mean, at least for me, a part of the job thing is like it's the man, right? Like you have to be accountable to somebody, right?
You
So,
have to be responsible,
right.
and I was raised to be responsible and to be a good worker. I would get my list of chores, and I had to complete the chores and be inspected by a German scientist.
Who's very easygoing. No, I'm kidding.
He's a lovely, lovely, brilliant man,
Right.
and he has a history of being extremely successful in the scientific community.
Hmm.
That I mean, he worked on the Manhattan Project. Come on, I mean that's a pretty big deal.
So you,
Top that.
well, how did he feel or your parents feel about you being more creative or in the arts? Um,
Mom totally supported it.
mm,
Mom totally, whatever you want, you go get them, kid. And Dad was, you had to prove it to him. And I know that when this band, the Andy Gibb band that turned in, got our own record deal, and we were seeking a publishing deal, and like I don't know, 150,000, 200,000, something like that. And I actually talked to Dad about it, and he didn't say anything. And then a couple of weeks later, this is Dad being smart. He says, "Pete, I was reading in the Wall Street Journal about songwriting. Tell me, are you writing any songs with this Bruce Springsteen guy?" He knew he knew how to cut right to the chase. He says, "You should write some songs with him. He's doing very well."
you're like information that is not exactly helpful to the situation.
Yeah. Well, I probably said, "Hook me up, Dad. I'll do it."
Yeah. That's so funny. That sounds like something my mother would have said, you know. Um, so your dad was a little bit more, because he was so successful and smart,
It's very pragmatic,
right.
which I love. I love having practical knowledge, you know. I
Common.
love knowing basic sciences. He also was brilliant with humans. He knew psychology,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and then plus you came from Arizona, which is pretty, probably the community is a little bit more like, a certain way, like kind of conservative to a certain degree.
You can say that, yeah.
And still is.
Yeah.
um, so is your dad still with us?
Oh yeah, he's everywhere.
Oh, well, that's good. That's
So
good.
is mom. She's everywhere.
Oh, I've seen pictures of your mom on Facebook and stuff. You've posted things. I know you're
Yeah.
yeah.
She's she was she always I have videos of her just laughing. You know, she was a source of light. She was
Oh.
great big bright light.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have an older brother, an older sister.
Mm. Wow. Okay. Okay. So you were the baby of the family?
That was the baby, yes.
That would make me the baby.
Yeah.
Um, so was your dad around to see you get the job at Gibson?
Yeah, I asked him I asked him advice and he said, know your product.
Mm,
Great piece of advice. He said, know your product.
that's good advice.
Yeah. And then he would say things like, get to know all your coworkers, get to know all their names, but don't get too close.
Mm, interesting. That's hard to do because
Oh yeah.
I, because I have a tendency to want to, become friends with everybody. But like, there's certain people that you probably want to keep on a more professional level. You know?
You figure out who it is.
Yeah,
It's easy.
yeah, that's
The
true.
older I get, the better I get at stuff like that.
Right. Um. So you're working at Gibson, and so did you have to? We live in. Did you? So you lived in your house then, right? In Studio City, you have.
I lived here, but I had to go into, we had an office on Sunset Boulevard in the same building as, uh, oh, who's the guy?
Mel Gibson?
No.
Oh, because I think I
No,
saw.
it was Intermedia? No, not Intermedia. He's the guy that was like the first Me Too guy. Uh, he was like the real,
Like he abused women.
oh yeah,
Um, gosh, Harvey Weinstein?
yes.
Oh, okay.
I used to ride up in the elevator with him.
Oh my gosh, how was that? Was he nice to you?
Well, I would learn, I would go one floor,
Hmm.
and if he was talking to a woman, I would know more about what not to do in one floor when talking to a woman.
Wow, that's so funny because I met him once because a friend of mine was dating him, right?
Mhm.
That's what she would call it, right? And she was an acquaintance of mine. She introduced me to him, and I remember thinking, oof. I didn't like the way he acted, and but it was kind of a mutually using situation, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he's a very successful
Sure.
filmmaker.
Yeah. So anyway, but okay. So you're at Gibson, and this is where the fun starts because I don't even know what your exact title is at Gibson. What do you do? I mean, is it head of marketing or, do you have a title?
I don't know.
Head
Pretty
digital.
flexible title. We kind of make up titles every now and then.
Got it.
I started as a director, and then I was actually the head of the entire department for a minute. So I was like a VP. I didn't like that job at all.
Really? What, too much
Uh,
responsibility?
it was all admin and going to Nashville every 2 weeks. And um, I'm now, they have funny names for me now.
And we can't repeat them on the air.
No, they're like, I'm like a mentor or a guru or,
Huh.
but no, I actually saw it written down the other day. I forgot what it was.
That's so cool. Hey,
But we don't have like
I like your
business cards anymore.
I like your necklace, by the way. Is that a cross?
That is it's a cross with kind of cool medallions inside,
Like,
like tiles.
sure.
It's beautiful
It's on you.
art. I don't know where I got it.
I like it. You're blessing our little Zoom.
Yeah.
Um, so, but when you first started there, like, did you? Because I know you're always hanging out and bringing guitars to people, really cool people and stuff. So, is that how it started, or did you have to work up to that? Like,
I
where?
think my designation was to increase the visibility for the brand
Mm-hmm.
and to focus on film and TV. So I learned all about getting guitars into TV shows.
Ah,
And at the time, we also had Baldwin pianos.
oh.
So, uh, but the phone would ring, and you would pick it up and you'd have an opportunity. I mean, I would hunt down opportunities, but one of the phones I picked up was for Chiat Day was doing the advertising agency were doing something for an undisclosed, you know, I, we had to do an NDA just to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, yeah, we want to put this guitar in an ad.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, sure, blah, blah, blah. And, but they still wouldn't say what it was for. And it cut to the chase, it was for this new thing called Apple Music.
Mm.
And Shy was their company at the time. They might still be, but they're excellent, highly creative team.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very smart people. I really liked working
I
with
can
them.
only imagine because when you see anything about Steve Jobs and the whole Apple thing, they always were coming up with these, really visionary kind of ads, right?
Yeah, and this was just all they wanted was I have the poster in the other room if you want to see it.
Yes.
Um, it was just a guitar
Yeah.
on a white background, and up in the corner it said Apple Music. That was before they had iTunes. I think it was the launch of the iPod,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I think. Um, but it was just so we borrowed, I took several guitars over and they looked at them and they said, well, it needs to be this, it needs to be that, it needs to be that. So we ended up borrowing a guitar from the Guitar Center, ended up borrowing a guitar,
Mm-hmm.
or actually, I'm sorry, laying a credit card down.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like a $40,000 Gibson 345. And it was aged, and it was aged in a very nice, woodsy, had a good, successful life to it. It's a 59 or 50, probably 59, 1959. And so they took it and they photoshopped it for 3 weeks. I'm going, whoa. I mean, what are they going to do? How are they going to possibly Photoshop something for 3 weeks? Anyway, then that became the poster.
Wow. That,
Got
that's
and it was on bus stops. It was on the back of cabs, on the sides of buildings. It's the launch button for GarageBand, the same guitar. Um, if you have GarageBand on your Mac.
I do. I do. So, so that was kind of from you though, right? I mean, you got that whole, well, you happen to be talking to them, so.
I picked up the phone, you know, and that was very lucky. It was me and Matt Ferguson working in the office, and whoever picked up the phone. But that really helped, and then we got millions and millions of dollars worth of advertising for that. And that was before we did like intellectual property releases, and they're going, "You sure you're okay with this? You're not bothered by us doing this?" And we went, "No, it's fine, it's fine." It's like that was like the agreement at the time.
That's so funny. So when did you start, delivering? Because gosh, I mean, you've told me some so privately, you've told me all these great stories about all these artists that like, didn't you say that the late great Brian Wilson used to come over to your house or at points, right?
Yeah. I got to know Brian. I mean, I'd known Brian. No, I've met Brian multiple times, but there's no connection.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a very guarded,
Mm.
loving, highly sensitive human. He's an amazing human being. And I mean, and his, and I worked with Wendy, his daughter.
Mm.
And then I went to the House of Blues, and they're doing a tribute. Forgot the guy's name that played in. Hmm. But I ran into Jeff Foskett there,
Mm-hmm.
and Jeff had just started becoming the MD for Brian Wilson, and uh, and Jeff I'd known for years. We worked together with John Stamos on some stuff,
John's
and
such a nice guy. I know you're good friends with him. He seems like such a nice guy.
yeah, we were on General Hospital together, and he's still a very, very good friend. We
Yeah,
probably communicate several times a week still.
I told you I had a small part on that movie that I think he either produced it or he had
Oh,
some.
the Beach Boys documentary.
Oh, well, no, this one was called The Beach Boys: An American Family, and I was doing some extra work at the time, and I played the waitress who, the character of Murray, the dad. I give him like he said, "Well, you let my boys play here," in the movie. I said, "Sure," So I told all my friends I was in the movie, and then it kind of they merged right when I said my line into something else. So I was like, "No worries," but I believe John played. I mean, sorry, did the drums or something.
Well, John produced a couple of those documentaries or movies. Yeah.
And I just remembered another funny story about John. I went to see Aerosmith at a place I can't remember where it was now, but we were backstage and they had those porta potties, and it was he was standing waiting for it, right? And I had to go to the bathroom really bad, and I walked up and he goes, "Oh, you go first." So the door, and I remember telling everyone, "What a gentleman! He let me go for," even though he was standing there.
Yeah, he's very, very charming, very nice
Sweet guy.
man.
Yeah. So yeah, so Brian Wilson, gosh, I mean, I never really, I mean, of course I've heard all the big hits of the Beach Boys, but I never it was like not my band, but I've seen so many movies now about Brian Wilson and he just seemed like such a visionary guy.
Yeah, I can't even say enough. I remember I was over at uh, that studio on Sunset Boulevard across from the Crossroads of the World. I don't remember what it's
Oh,
called.
okay. It's not
Um,
Sunset Sound or anything, is it?
yeah, Sunset Sound.
Oh, okay.
And they were actually recutting Smile, and they had a live orchestra, they had a live band, and they were using two different rooms,
Mm-hmm.
every input that they had. And I was there alone with Brian in the control room with the engineer, and we had not officially met. And Jeff Foskett just says, "He's waiting here," and they're going to a tune, and and they played it, and Brian goes, "It's too fast,"
Mm.
and the MD goes, "Well, no, we have a digital metronome, and we're right there. It is like seven. It's a very slow song,
Mm.
like 78.4 beats per minute."
Mm.
And they came in and checked the metronome, and it was 74.9 beats per minute. So he was like half a beat at that speed. That's like
Wow.
less than half a second off in 1 minute. So
But he knew.
he knew. And so they corrected it, and then they got it right, and I'm still sitting there at the playback, and Brian keeps looking over at me like, got this look like, what are you doing in here? You know.
Yeah.
And then he kind of looked, we made eye contact, and he goes, get me a Diet Coke.
Okay.
And I walked out to get a Diet Coke, and Jeffrey was watching us. He was watching us, and he goes, he likes you.
Imagine if he didn't like you.
Yeah. And we became, I want to say friends, but our relationship was he would call me up and say, what are you doing? And I would say something. And no matter what I said, he would say, okay, I'm coming over. And
I'm not going to be home. Okay, I'm coming over.
I could say, my hair's on fire and my leg fell off. He's okay, I'll be right there. And we would come over and we would record music. And we'd stay for an hour, 90 minutes. And I learned so much through his he would lay stuff down completely nonlinear to the point where I'm going, wow, I'm sitting here with Brian Wilson.
The visionary behind the War of the Worlds. It transformed H.G.
What's
Wells'
this?
novel into
Oh, is that your Surrey?
light and imagination. On a tiny budget, Hal's team built one of the
I bumped the computer and started telling me about H.G. Wells.
You got a smart, you have a smart house.
Yeah. So, no, I don't have a smart house.
Oh.
So he would record something and be nonlinear. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, he's like in my house recording. It's absolutely amazing.
I got to pinch myself, right?
And then I'd go, what the hell is he doing? I'm tired. What is he doing? And then all of a sudden he would do one thing and tie everything together. And all the nonlinear stuff would become linear. And it was just the most amazing process. And then he would throw vocals on, which is like, holy moly, like I'll show it to you sometime. If you're welcome to come over, just the multi-tracks of him doing backgrounds.
He recorded that in your house, the one in Studio
Yeah.
Sound. Wow, what a trip. Yeah, I mean, when he passed, everybody was talking about stuff, and I was listening to that God Only Knows. For some reason, that song always gets me. I don't know why. Because
it's real. It's a real song.
And it's just the lyrics and the melody, just so beautiful,
Yeah.
Anyway, so then you've got all these rock and rollers that are, do they come to your house, or do they call you up and go, hey, Pete, I need this kind of guitar?
Oh, it's all over the place. I've got Joe Perry and Slash and
Right.
Adam from Tool and
Oh yes, I saw that guy. Remember sitting on your corner there? I go, who's that
that's
guy?
right. That's right. He comes by and then he goes to the park with his little girl and
I know, so cute.
Paul McCartney and Brian and Rusty from the band. And
Have you ever seen Paul McCartney live, like recently with his band?
yeah,
Is
I
it?
went to a family rehearsal they had where the friends and family production rehearsal.
Sure.
But I've seen them live. Oh, I got a good one for you.
What?
I went to a sound check at the Hollywood Bowl where it was like the VIP sound check.
Yeah.
And Brian Ray says, yeah, come on down, check it out. And so I sat there. It's great. It's very fun if you get the chance, go to one of those because you get to see the band having fun and no tensions whatsoever.
Right.
And then afterwards, I was going to see the show, but Brian says, God, man, I really fucked up. I fucked up really bad. I don't have a ticket for you.
Oh.
And I said, oh, that's okay. It's getting kind of cold anyway. He goes, but if you want, you can just stand here on stage and watch the show.
You're like, oh no, thanks. That's not as good.
So watching Paul McCartney do the entire show on stage. That was a win-win situation, you know.
Wow, that I'm jealous because I remember I was going to go see him once and I don't remember what happened. This is like 4 years ago. And I've seen him on TV, a couple of stuff, and he's got a really good band, you know?
Oh, the band is smoking. I mean, Wicks, keyboard player's been with him. How long has he been there? And Rusty and Brian, and then Abe Jr., Abe Laboriel Jr.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then they have great vegan food.
Are you a vegan? Oh, that's
Well,
right.
and with Paul McCartney.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah. Because I have a couple friends who are vegan, and they never mention him, but that's right. You're right. Because his wife was, and his daughter, who's a designer, right? And oh, you took me to that one, the ELO concert. That was a great show.
Yeah.
I
Jeff
loved
Lynne.
Yeah, Jeff Lynne. So he uses Gibson, obviously, right?
He plays a lot of Gibsons. Yeah. He has this guitar that we're going to we're going to duplicate it for him, and it was a 74 recreation of his 56 Les Paul Gold Top, and Craig Fruin, who's his manager's longtime friend. I mean, Craig has managed Michael McDonald when I worked with Michael, and he also managed the Traveling Wilburys. Come on, the Traveling Wilburys, an amazing group of
Oh
guys.
my God.
And,
I met I was going to tell you a funny story. I met Michael McDonald last year at NAM, not at NAM, but he was actually there at NAM, but he wasn't in NAM. He just came to visit my friend who does he's a Hammond organ tech.
ooh,
Yeah, and they become really good friends. So he's like, "Do you want to go have dinner with Michael McDonald and I?" And I'm like, "Sure." So
yeah,
it was like 3 hour dinner. I mean, they really talked.
Mike's a sweetheart.
Such a nice guy, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead. The Traveling Wilburys. Oh, what a great band.
So Craig says, go up to the house at 1 p.m. and pick up Jeff's guitar. And I'm going, yeah, I'll probably meet the gardener out front, and he'll hand me the guitar. And so I go up and the gate opens, and Jeff is standing in the driveway with the guitar.
Oh.
And I said, okay, let me throw it in this back seat here. The guitar was so heavy.
Really?
Like, in its road case, it was so heavy. We had to both lift it up and put it in the car. And I said, how's your back? He says, it's not very good. And I mean, this is the original. The 70s Gibsons were pretty heavy.
That's true. They're more industrial, right?
And so I guess during that time in the driveway, he kind of vetted me. And he goes, would you like a cup of tea? And I go, yeah.
I'm having tea with Jeff Lynne. This is awesome.
Yeah. So he made me a cup of tea.
Cup of tea. You know, the English people, they always love tea.
I love tea myself.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Because I heard Elvis Costello on. Have you ever met Elvis Costello, by the way?
No.
Huh. Must not use Gibsons. I heard him on an, yeah. I heard him on an interview and on something, and they were offering him coffee. And he's like, "No, I only drink tea." You know.
Different animal.
Yeah.
Same drug, different animal.
That's true. That's true. And I heard that tea actually has more caffeine than coffee, but I don't know.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I would drink PG Tips, or there's one from a particular store in London called Waitrose that is serious. If you ever, I have some here. If you ever want some serious caffeine, it's just like,
which is quite often. So I wanted to ask you now, like with everything that's going on with the economy. So like, I know Gibson you guys moved your building, and you were saying to me once that, well, it's not so much that everything's going on with the economy. It's just that music has suffered in a way because everyone's buying like more, they're using more electronic stuff, right? And so, you know, instruments have suffered to a certain degree, right?
Well, I thought during the pandemic that it would be terrible. I figured that everyone would just be buying apps and software, but no, they bought tons of guitars.
Well, that's true.
A
That's true.
lot of starter guitars during that time.
That's true. I started writing music again during the pandemic. It was weird. I guess all people, anybody who was musically inclined was like, I'm going to honk her down,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no options. Got to do it now.
I know. Well, I've been working with this charity program through the Salvation Army, teaching music to kids. And we do musical theater, guitar, piano, ukulele. And we're trying to keep that alive, even with, like, there's a lot of them are lower income people, and we're trying to keep music lessons affordable because, I mean, music is the one thing that kind of, gets you through a lot of stuff, bridges a lot of different economic levels. And so why should kids that don't have money to take lessons suffer, right? So I don't know. I mean, personally, I'm all for keeping musical instruments, real instruments alive, right?
Yeah, it's one of the Gibson Foundation is focused on that,
Really?
supplying instruments for musical education, which is, I mean, music is amazing. I think that people who, I mean, there's probably documentation on people that have musical skills or at least listen to music, have develop a different part of their brain.
Well, I was learning about okay, so people that get Alzheimer's and dementia, there's lots of studies about that, like how music cuts through. And that's why there's the music therapy. So when you play music to people that seemingly are not, with it anymore, when they hear songs, it cuts right through, it hits a certain part of their brain and it stimulates, and you remember things from your past. And so, like, some people who are not cognizant, or they've lost a lot of their capabilities, they can still play the piano really well. So, I mean, yeah, music is amazing.
Nah,
It sucks.
nah.
Yeah, you've had a very interesting life because of music, because of being in bands and then working at Gibson, and so
Music is magic.
that's true.
I can't figure it out. I mean, I know how to play it, I know how to listen, but it's a powerful, powerful thing. There's sometimes one thing within a song will completely. I mean,
You know,
yeah,
no,
I listen to a lot of classical music, like, and there's, I mean, we like look at a verse, a middle eight, and a hook, and the classical guys would do a verse, a middle eight, and a hook, but they would do it 11,000 versions. They would just keep moving. They wouldn't like focus on one.
huh,
No, their themes. It's not. We have one theme. They have multiple themes.
that's true. That's true. Um, so I did want to ask you, because you were telling me about some funny story about, gosh, what did you say? It was like there was some delivering mail with somebody. You were telling me some story about delivering mail with somebody. What was that?
When we were on the road with Andy Gibb, we were doing a lot of um, festivals. What do they call it? Fairs? A lot of
Right,
fairs,
right,
like state fairs.
right.
And I remember one day we had, it was like an extraordinarily number of, in the Midwest, like too many flights in one day. Like, I don't know. Somehow the number 7 connections, which is like enough,
Enough
enough.
already.
Whereas we were opening for Neil Sedaka, and he would hub out of one place and then private jet to each gig, like bang, 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 and then move to another central location and go bang, 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 which is great. But
But you guys didn't have the budget at that
no,
time.
no, that we're just the opening act,
Right.
and we didn't have a number 1 record. But one of the last flight that we took to get to the state fair was on an old DC-3,
Mm-hmm.
which is a twin prop. They had some seats in the plane, but it was a stainless steel or aluminum floor, and the pilot was sitting right there. There was no co-pilot, and there were seat belts. And I was kind of like thrilled because it was like, this is different. It's changing, and we would go up in the air and then go at about 500 feet and then land again. And then the pilot would just drop the mail off at the next stop. And
That's funny.
and I just, being the guy that I'm, I say, I'll help. He says, okay, go to the back door. And there was no back door, by the way.
Right.
It was just the opening and had a strap across it.
Oh, I see.
And so he said, don't fall out. And says, when you get to, when we land, throw out bag 32, so that I was delivering mail.
Well, that's something to write home about, right?
Yeah. There was no, they did have seat belts, This is like, you take Spirit Airlines and just like get rid of everything. Just
That's
keep
funny.
the engines in the wings.
I did some shows with the USO, and one time a couple times we flew military, and this is before, like, when flying was still, they give you food and stuff. Now you know how it's just like they give you peanuts and that's it, right? But when I was flying, performing for the USO, we did military, and so it's real sparse in the plane. You have to wear these big, like hazmat suits kind of thing, and then you put these ear headsets on because it's so loud, and your seats are facing the reverse, and they give you like a sandwich and a box lunch kind of thing. And I remember thinking, gosh, I'll never complain about flying commercial again, because it really made you appreciate,
Yeah.
because it's so sparse and like,
They should have Spartan Airlines. That should be the name of it. Spartan Airlines.
Well,
We'll get you there.
yeah, but no frills,
Yeah.
even less than the normal. Wow. So yeah, the Gibson legacy lives on. Now, do you see any exciting stuff in the future for you guys, or is it,
Always.
really like
Always.
new and innovative guitars?
Yeah, our CEO is a very, very staunch believer in doing epic shit. We
Really?
do epic shit. Yep.
We're Gibson. We're epic. Shh.
Yeah.
That's your logo.
Can I say that word on?
You know what? I used to bleep out everything because, like I said, I work with kids sometimes, and you never know who's going to see the podcast. But lately, I've been a little more lax, because I can't, bleep out every little word. And you hear some podcasts where, they're F-bombs everywhere. So I'm like, and no one's, most people don't listen to every little thing. So I'm always so worried about, like, oh, you said this, but it kind of flies over. So in answer to your question, yes, you can say it because I can always bleep it out anyway. Right?
Yeah.
Woo! There you go. Yeah, I'll put a little like disclaimer in the beginning, like an MPAA or whatever that thing is, Listen to this podcast at your own whatever. Um, so anyway, so are you going to be around for the holidays? Are you going anywhere for Thanksgiving?
Um, when is that?
Hey, it's coming up at the end of the month.
Oh, I'll know. I'll know beforehand.
You're a
We
very spontaneous. Are you a spontaneous person, or it's just that you've learned to become spontaneous because of your life and job?
Which question do you want answered first?
Are you a spontaneous person?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm the other too. I plan things too. So
Yeah, so that's like your brain's going whoop whoop.
I got I can do both.
Yeah, because you're a bright guy.
I'm bright like the sun.
my I'm so bright. They call me. My dad calls me son.
Yeah. I like that.
I think that's an old joke, but I don't remember. I want to ask you, with you, is because you write songs, does the melody come first? Do the lyrics come first, or do you do them same time, or does it happen different ways, different times?
Oh, mm. The melodies are always coming in. And usually um, there's a sound
Mm-hmm.
and a tone,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes those sounds and tones have words attached to them,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it's a vowel sound,
Mm-hmm.
the oohs and ahs and e's.
The A E I O
Yeah, sometimes Y and W.
U.
Um, and then but then again, a hard consonant can come up as an inspiration for a word, you
Right.
know. And Mike, when I worked with Mike McDonald, he would just we would just start recording, and he would say, "Let's see what kind of gems fall out." And I do that. I mean, I can't sing like Mike, but I can definitely make sounds, and sometimes gems will come out, and when they come out that way, they fit, and they're solid because it's the path of the least resistance for those particular words, for that melody with these particular words. And when if I start a song that way, that it doesn't get changed. That's it seems like that's the way it's supposed to be.
That's interesting. I didn't know you sang. Have you?
Oh, I don't.
Oh,
I used to sing I mean, Brian had me singing stuff, and I'm, I play guitar, I write, I produce. I don't sing. I can pretend to sing.
right. Well,
Um,
everybody can sing. It's just whether it's good or bad or pleasing to the ear, right?
I mean, but then again, I mean, I think Burt Bacharach and I have similar voices.
Hmm, okay. I like his voice.
Oh, wow. You do?
I do. I do. Wait, what was his biggest hit?
What the world needs now.
He wrote some beautiful, beautiful songs, right?
Oh, he's an incredible writer.
Um, that one for Dionne Warwick that I always say I want to sing. What was that one?
Which one?
Gosh, Sailor.
She's reading those things off charts too.
Really?
Yeah. I got to know Hal David through he was the president of ASCAP.
Mhm.
And at functions, Loretta, my wife, would say, "Do you mind giving Hal a ride home?" I said, "Yeah, okay." And so I would give him a ride home, and on the way we would just talk, about songs and just such a, I didn't get any secrets dispelled, but he's definitely a talented guy. And I said, what was your inspiration for these songs? And she said it was my wife, my lovely wife.
Aw.
would you like to meet her? And so I took him home once. We woke her up, and I got to meet the woman of inspiration.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
amazing that he woke his wife up. I want you to meet Peter.
Well, she was probably waiting for him at the same
Right.
time as a late night ASCAP award show or something.
I've been to a few of those ASCAP awards shows. I remember the best one I saw was I think they were honoring Joni Mitchell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a great one. And I believe Stevie Wonder performed, everyone was performing her songs. And that was a really good one,
She's amazing.
I know, she's one of my all-time. I didn't appreciate her till more recently, to be honest with you, because I think for me it was more like a maturity level on my part to understand.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I'm going like, oh, we all know Crosby, Stills, and Nash singing Woodstock.
Right.
But listen to her singing it,
Yeah, she's kind of like a flute, her voice and the lyrics, because I could relate to a lot of her lyrics, but it was just the way she delivers her lines. It's not so strictly commercial type, pop.
No, she doesn't have any rules. No rules.
Right.
It's like Brian, no rules.
Right. She's just.
I totally believe in the no rules.
I know. For someone, the son of a German American scientist, you're very unruly.
Yeah. The blessing and a curse.
I know. My brain is always fighting with itself. All right, Peter, listen, it's been so much fun. So I'm sure I'll be around the place. I won't say where it is, but I'll be around.
And I'll be looking.
I know, looking for spiders.
Looking.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you so much for your time. I so appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for being on. So, because I wanted to get the story of Peter Leinheiser, because, we all know him as the mayor of Studio City, but I didn't know the story behind the man.
I'm more like the cultural ambassador to Studio.
That sounds classier, the cultural ambassador.
If I was the mayor, I'd be asking you for a check.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And we'd be complaining to you more too. Why isn't this done?
Our councilman, Adrien Nazarian, is always around, and he actually introduced me as the mayor the other day.
He did?
Yeah.
That's so funny. I got the garbage trucks again. If anybody can hear that right now.
Oh, it's garbage day, huh?
I know. It's garbage day, and I won't say where, but it's garbage day.
Yeah. Well, we can figure that out,
Uh-oh. All right, dear. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Bye.
Bye.
Candid.